Hey everyone, Wixman Ray here. It's Monday morning. Maybe good for some of us, maybe not. Hopefully you had your coffee or whatever and you're awake by now. Uh, anyways, Today is January 26th, 2026. So this is, I want to just give you a overview of what the snowfall totals. This is over the last 72 hours out here, basically when the storm started on Friday morning through Monday. This is through Monday at about 7 a.m. Eastern time or so. Um, there's a little bit of ongoing light snow up in the Northeast, but just minor accumulations for the most part left for this area. So just kind of a quick overview. You can kind of see where you see this real light yellowish color. That's probably 6 to 8 inches. This is 8 to 12, where you got this kind of orange color, and then you get the darker oranges. That's where you got over a foot. So like between 12 and 18 inches. So across southern Illinois, parts of southern Indiana, into Ohio, Pennsylvania, the entire Northeast, they had, I mean, anywhere from most areas, anywhere from 6 to 18 inches. So across this wide swath here. Down south through Kentucky, most of Kentucky, anyways. Into Tennessee, you're looking at less than 6 inches, except for this little area here near Memphis area. You had a little bit more. Looks like 8 to 12, and same kind of idea across northern Arkansas and into Oklahoma. Generally 8 to 12. So, and then looking out West Texas here, most of the area had 6 inches or less. There was a few areas maybe 6 to 8 inches. So they got quite a bit of snow. And you can kind of see that extended down near the Dallas Fort Worth area, maybe an inch or two, at least in the northern suburbs. And even a little bit of light snow reported out, 1 to 2 inches across like Shreveport area, Texarkana, the Arklatex region, and even into northern Louisiana a little bit. So they got a little bit of snow there. So they don't always see that down there. Back into New Mexico, I wanted to show you this just because this is my homeland out here. Um, Up in the mountains, obviously they had quite a bit of snow. I know the lake near Ruidoso, if you know where that's at, up in the mountains, they had like 31 inches. So, and then there's quite a bit of snow out through all through the Rockies here, the southern Rockies up into Colorado. So even back into Arizona and the higher elevations, they had some pretty good snows. Some of the lower elevations, I thought I would tell you, near El Paso, Alamogordo, Las Cruces, they had an inch or two. Actually, in my hometown in Alamogordo, they had 3 to 4 inches reported out at the White Sands National Monument, if you know where that's at. They had basically 3 inches. They called it 2.8, but hey, so they had some snow on top of them white sands. So pretty cool, right? So that's just the overview of what fell in snow. The storm's pretty much winding down. Let me go over the general forecast. Really quiet this week for most areas. This is starting Tuesday. I won't even go into. There's not much going on today. The storm's winding down. You got this little clipper moving through the Great Lakes. Some light areas of snow, but nothing big. Some lake effects will develop Tuesday and Wednesday along the lakes there. Um, so those lake effect belts will see more snow piling up in some of those areas. Although it doesn't look real significant on accumulations from what I can tell. Looking back west, that was all the way through Friday morning, just so you know. Looking back west, let's go back in time here. So this is Tuesday, so you're starting to see some clouds moving to the Pacific Northwest. Some rain comes on shore from Northern California into Washington along the western side of Washington, Seattle, Portland, those areas. So back to their normal rainy, overcast type weather they get out there pretty often. So Tuesday, Wednesday, that continues into Thursday. You might get a little break on Friday, but then it comes right back. So it's a real short break. Basically, just a rainy kind of depends on where you're at. But you're going to have little systems kind of moving in off the Pacific up there across the Northwest, all the way through. Whoops. This. thing is so sensitive on my laptop. So yeah, all the way through the weekend. We see a little clipper coming out of Canada by the weekend across the northern plains. Maybe some wintry precip, but nothing too big a deal here. You can kind of see something going on down here. So this is starting Friday, late Thursday night into Friday morning. This is the American GFS model. They're kind of showing a low pressure forming out over the Gulf. I'll just call it the Gulf. You can call it the Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico. I don't care, but I just call it the Gulf because I've always called it that. So we're going to see a little low pressure track across the Gulf. And then we see a low pressure forming off the coast of the Carolinas and kind of moving up along the East Coast. May bring some light snow or at least some, yeah, I mean, even maybe moderate heavy snow. We'll have to see how this pans out. I mean, they're kind of hinting again at maybe something forming along the East Coast from DC southward. Just keep an eye on that. Not a, it's got the hints of a nor'easter, but then it kind of tracks out to sea as we go into the end of the weekend. But this is towards next weekend. This is still several days out. I mean, 5, 6 days out. So take that with a grain of salt. But to add a credence to what I just said, let's look at the. I'll show you the European model here. This is it's ECMWF if you want to know what it's called, but don't really matter. So here on the European model, they're kind of showing that low pressure forming quite a bit farther north up across the southeastern near the Gulf Coast area. Maybe a little snow on the northern fringe, but don't look like a whole lot. It gets a little more organized as it tracks into Florida and up along the East Coast. And this one looks like it, I mean, this is hinting at a real nor'easter. So as we head into Saturday and Sunday, so something to watch towards the weekend if you live in those parts. Yeah, and the other thing I will mention is, it's already been cold all week across the South. I mean, evident by they're showing a hint of snow all the way in Mississippi and Arkansas on Friday. Um, but I mean, look behind this. Whoops, sorry, I didn't know that was going to move. Guess it's sensitive to my touch. Anyways, it looks like it's going to drag the cold air and some winds if this forecast pans out. Either way, all the models are pointing at colder air. Uh, whoops, colder air moving back down, and this looks like even colder air possibly for the southeast and into Florida as we head into next weekend. This what is that? Right at the end of January into February 1st. So um, those of you in Florida are going to have a cold week, and it'll get reinforced. You may have a brief warm up ahead of this front, like on Friday, but Saturday into Sunday, depending on the timing of this, that's going to bring more cold air. I mean, look at those. We call these thickness lines. I mean, the 540 lines all the way through like Orlando. I mean, that's cold. That's cold air. I mean, and you see these lines here packed together. That's a lot of cold air. So this is a pretty strong cold front moving through for those parts. That was a European model. Going back, we'll look at the Canadian model here. Let's step back in time here a little bit. Kind of showing kind of the same general idea. So, okay, so this is Thursday. So yeah, they've got somewhere maybe a little farther south, somewhere in between the American model, which was down here, and the European up in here. They got a low pressure right along the coastal area. Maybe some light snow across the southeast and some rain. And then look at that nor'easter looking system for next Saturday and Sunday. So something to watch as we head into the weekend. So you heard it here. I don't know if any of the other outlets are talking about it, but hey, I don't care what they're saying. I'm just talking what I see. So yeah, so keep an eye on that, and you can kind of see the same idea: the cold air across the southeast, some windy conditions, all the way into South Florida. So yeah, all right. Okay, let's go over here. I wanted to show you this. What is that? Okay, that's my snowfall. I already covered that. I'll just show you the current conditions real quick, current temperatures and what's going on across the country. Up in Seattle, got some clouds up in this part of the area. Looks like some rain trying to develop, but not quite. I don't think any of that's reaching the ground. And then it's in the 30s, so pretty chilly up here in Seattle and down to Eugene, Oregon. Across California, 50s and 60s. Yeah, so there's still some patchy fog out there, but nothing widespread. You don't really have that widespread Thule fog that we had going on last week. Across Nevada in the Intermountain West, if I can speak, out through here, real chilly this morning in the teens and 20s. Warmer as you head south towards Phoenix, 60s, but 30s all the way down to Albuquerque and El Paso, even in the 30s this morning. So pretty cold for those parts of the world. As we head into the plains, southern into Texas here, look at that, 20s, even a 15, even 30s all the way down to Corpus Christi and, 41 at Brownsville. So cold. Look at that, 35 in New Orleans, 20s in Shreveport, 25. Little Rock, and then you go north of there in single digits. You do have a little bit of warming. We got some winds kind of coming off the Rockies and warming it up through Nebraska, parts of Nebraska and Kansas here. Just a brief warm up, but that'll turn back cold as that front comes through later in the week. Yeah, and yeah, we got some snow flurries up across Minnesota. Pretty little bit better snows up by International Falls. Real cold up there, below zero to single digits all the way across here. Yeah, you can see some buffaloes getting some snow. Looks like some lake effects are developing off the lakes back here. Here's the lingering snow across the northeast. But I wanted to point this out. Yeah, it's cold. I mean, Nashville 18, Memphis 18, 20s all across the south. Atlanta's 32, Tallahassee 45, 52 in Jacksonville. So it's cooling down. Tampa's at 64. They got some storms or showers, maybe some thunderstorms across South Florida here as the front's pressing through. Look at that. Key West is 82, 86 in Miami. That's the place to be today. But tomorrow, not so much. It's going to cool off. So, yeah, that front's even going to press through the Bahamas and probably cool them off a few degrees, anyways. Nothing spectacular, but yeah. So that's what's going on there. Finally, I'll just show you the temperature forecast. This is for tonight. I'm not going to go over all this, but look across the south here. I mean, single digits, teens along the coast, 20s and 30s, all the way into Orlando, 35. I mean, it's going to be in the 30s and 40s down into central and getting close to South Florida, 52 in Miami tonight. Looking at Tuesday night, and this is Wednesday morning basically. Look at that, 30s down, 51 in Miami. So it's going to be cold across Florida. So yeah, I don't know if that might affect some of the orange crop down there. It's hard to say. Definitely cold. Look at that, just cold. Continues. Wednesday, same thing. This is into Thursday. It moderates a little bit, but still cold for these parts. 40s all along the coast. 41 for Orlando, 54 in Miami. So it's cold all through the week. Friday, this is Friday into Saturday morning. Still chilly. We'll just kind of skip forward. Then looking at Saturday, let's see. Yeah, see that? Drop back down to 33 at Orlando. So there's that cold front I told you. 20s, 28 around New Orleans. Cold. This is Sunday night, and this is a week out, Is that right? I don't think that's updated. They don't look right. But anyway, so yeah, there you go. Gonna be cold. So hey, we'll try to give you a weather update tomorrow if we have time. And y'all have a great week. And Wixman Ray out.